is what I'm going to discuss about the coinage of Harikela. If you are familiar with this term, if you are know what this is, basically it was an ancient kingdom from ancient Bengal, and to be precise, it was actually located in the southeastern part of modern day Bangladesh. Many famous travelers has described about this kingdom, like Huen Sang. Whenever he was traveling to this part of the world, he also mentioned mentioned about this area in his travelogue. Like lot of literature, text, and data can be found in internet and many other uh, description from the historians that about this particular territory. But the importance of this specific area in Bengal is very vital, because this was an important trading point and hub for this ancient Bengal, and the historians has tried to find out the information about this coinage, because the history of Harikela coinage is basically related with the economic history of undivided Bengal of the time. So that's why Harikela, this region and the economy and the coinage is very vital for this economical history of this Bengal. So what I try to describe you about the chronology and the evolution of the Harikela coinage, like how it started, how it actually flourished, and how it ended. So let's start the presentation first. This is the opening slide, and this is just some glance, some information at a glance regarding the kingdom. Before going to this point, let me clarify two things. Whatever I'm going to present here is not something entirely new, because whatever is the chronology and evolution has already been described in the book named Early Coinage of Bengal, written by Mr. Numan Nasir and S.K. Bose. I'm just trying to give you some real coin example with some coins from that book, and I have followed the guideline given on the book for this chronology of the coinage. And the coinage I'm going to present here is totally from my collection, and only one or two coins have been presented here just because the clarity and visuality for betterness. That's it. Like the period we are going to talk about is from 600 to 10th century AD. So this is basically around 400 to 500 years of time. And during this time, it's very difficult to determine the geographic area of Harikela, because that the geographic area has been extended, it has been minimized, and that's why and the adjacent territories has been overlapped with this Harikela over the time. So it is very difficult to exactly pinpoint what was the exact geographical location of this point. But it can be said that the present day, if you are familiar with Bangladesh, the present day Tripura, Chittagong, Kumilla, Arakan, the modern day Myanmar, Chittagong, these are areas are basically comprised of Harikela kingdom, and many historians say that this kingdom was extended up to Sylhet, this part. So this was basically a huge area and very important economic hub for this ancient Bengal. Now, this is just I'm dump some basic information about this coinage before going to the real numismatic things. Like the coinage was first correctly read by Mr. B.N. Mukherjee in 1976, and Harikela is basically famous for reintroducing silver coinage in Bengal, because before that you used to have gold coins from Proto-Gupta and Gupta issues, and all are very basically different denomination is available for their coinage. Like the coins was down up to 1/16th unit, all around it in shape, and the silver quality was very high with 95.13% fineness. And the silver, we didn't have any silver mine in Bangladesh, so the traders used to import the silver for producing the coins from Myanmar and that Yunnan from Thailand. The encryption from overs and reverse of the coin is very usual. Like you have bull on the overs and the reverse you have some trifectory symbol. Let's go to the coinage. Okay, so this is a very typical. Okay, this is a very typical Harikela coin. I'm just trying to, for those who are not familiar with the coinage, I'm just trying to give you some glimpses of what the coin is comprises of. Like the obverse, you will have the script on top of the bull that is written as Harikela in Brahmi script, We have a bull on our verse with within some dotted borders. We have some garland in reverse, and the main symbol in the middle is a tripatry symbol with the sun and moon on top of the tripatry symbol. That is basically a Shivasta symbol of God Shiva. Now, this is basically the whole presentation in a glance. The numismatic traveler, how the coin was started, how it flourished, and how it actually ended. Because basically started the coin is from Chandra dynasty from Arakan region, and then it came the first series of Harikala. Then come the Akara dynasty, and from there we got the the later series of Harikala, and from there from the later series of Harikala we have got some the variations like coins of other city estates and the Bracteates. And the Bracteates can be considered as the end of this Harikala series. So this is the entire numismatic travelogue I would like to say for this coinage. Next, now let's start with the Chandra coinage, from where the Harikala coin actually derived. The earliest coin from Chandra dynasty is Raja Chandra. So he is the earliest Chandra ruler, and historically very important because Raja Chandra was the second ruler of Chandra dynasty and the first ruler who has some coin in his name. The predecessor, I mean, the first ruler of Chandra dynasty is Divan Chandra, but unfortunately no coin from that particular ruler has been surfaced so far. So Raja Chandra, in case of numismatic, he is the earliest Chandra ruler who has got some coins. From Raja Chandra, the descendant is Deva Chandra, and Deva Chandra also issued coins similarly as Raja Chandra. So this is the very basic and first Chandra dynasty coins. So far, there is no resemblance of any Harikala coins with this. But this Mr. Deva Chandra, once upon a time, and he introduced second series of Harikala, and that is like this, with the bull symbol novas and the tripatria symbol in reverse. And this coin is basically you can say is the mother of the Harikala coinage, because Harikala coinage, the symbols and the design of Harikala coinage motifs, those are introduced. Those are basically taken from this particular coin of Devachandra. So, if you want to see the what happened in a glance, that is basically how it came from Chandra dynasty to early series of Harikala. From Raja Chandra, they are Devachandra first issue, and then Devachandra later issues. From Devachandra later issues, we got the other Chandra rulers who have their own coins in their names, and then from this Chandra ruler we got the Harikala early series. This actually, this is how actually the early series of Harikala coin derived from Chandra dynasty. This is just some coins from the Chandra dynasty. You have other rulers like Yajna Chandra, Dharma Bija, whose coin is widely found in Bengal, like Tripura, Kumilla, in some Bangladesh region, like Chittagong. The Chandra dynasty have some fractional coins as well. You can see there are 4 types of fractions: full unit, quarter unit, 1/8, and 1/16 was from Chandra dynasty coins. This is the example I have given here with the coins from Vira Chandra. Interestingly, what has happened is full unit and the quarter unit, they have the name of the ruler inscribed here in the coin, but 1/8 and 1/16 doesn't have any name. And the 1/16 is basically uniface. So just the bull side is visible and the other side is blank. And from this Chandra dynasty, we have the first series of Harikala coins. Like the first series of Harikala coin is how it is different from the second series of Harikala coins. The easily foundable characteristic is that the garland around the bull. If you find that there is a garland and there is the weight of the first series coin from Harikala is relatively higher than the second series, the later series. But the main differentiable element for first series of Harikala is basically the e-script and the weight. By these two facts, you can find out the first series coins of Harikala. Average coin for this first series for full unit from this Harikala is basically 7.5 grams. So, and the second series of Harikala is basically 6.3. So there is a 1 gram of difference between first series and second series of Harikala coins. And the garland itself is by looking at a glance, if you see the garland around the bull, then you can consider it as a first series of Harikala coins. Now, from first series of coin, as I have mentioned earlier, there comes the Akara dynasty. Akara dynasty is like the further series of heavy coins also have been appeared in Chittagong and Arakan region. These coins are pretty significant as they have bear the names of the rulers instead of regular Harikela coins. Harikela coins, as you have seen, only the Harikela name is inscribed in the obverse. But here in Akara, we have found the names of the rulers, and they are very commonly known as the Akara dynasty coins. The weight is relatively higher, 6 to 8 grams, and basically what is happening is only the Ratnakara coin from Akara coinage, they are having little less weight comparing other coins. There is around 13 to 15 Akara coins, Akara rulers have been known so far. All of them are actually very extremely difficult to find, and only Lolitkara and Ratnakara from these rulers are relatively known and they are easily found. Otherwise, all the rest rulers from this Akara dynasty is extremely rare to find. Here I have given some name of the rulers like Ratnakara. You can see the full unit and the faction. Probably he is considered as the earliest and the founder of this Akara dynasty. At this present days, the faction is very difficult to find, and we have other Akara rulers like Podmunokara. Interesting thing is that on the overs, on top of bull, there is a sun symbol of the name on top of the name of the ruler. This is very interesting as no other Akara ruler or no other Harikela coins or anything you can find this sort of symbol. Only Podmunokara has this sort of symbol, crescent symbol or sun symbol in top of this bull. And then we have Attakara Deva. He is considered as the last ruler of this dynasty. And interestingly, for Attakara, we have a inscription found, and this is the only source of only epigraphic source that can be found for Akara dynasty till date. Now here I am going to present a very interesting coin. From this I consider as a transitional coin from Akara dynasty to second series of Harikela. Just let me go to the previous slide. You see the names Podmunokara and Attakara. All the names of the rulers are spelled with a colon sign after the name of the rulers. Here, the Harikela coin, you can find a colon sign also. This is the only example that has been. This is the only example that has been found so far with the coin where a colon sign is used after the name of the Harikela, which is quite similar the way the Akara rulers was used to spell their names. So this is a transitional coin, can be considered transitional coin, and since this is the only instance found so far, so this coin requires more attention and more research should be made on this coin. I think if there is the expert can find anything more from this coin. Excuse me. Now I have the Kanshideva Kanshideva. Kanshideva is known the only independent king from Harikela with clear epigraphic record, and the copper plate of Kanshideva, that is the only epigraphic evidence from Harikela Mandala or Harikela kingdom. This Kanshideva is historically very significant and important coin, and extremely rare. With only 3 known pieces so far, and the only epigraphic record, as I said, is found in the copper plate of Kanshideva. That is now at this moment is kept at Bangladesh Jadughar, Bangladesh Museum. So now one thing I would like to mention is that the discovery of coins of Kanshideva that was done on 2014 by Mr. Numan Nasir. The discovery of coins of Kanshideva is one of the most sensational discoveries for this decade in undivided Bengal. Like now, the question is what makes Kanshideva so significant? I mean, why he is so important? Because we have other coins from rulers like Attakara Deva, Podmunokara, as I said, there are other rulers of Harikela as well. But why Kanshideva is so significant? The interesting thing is that so far, Kanshideva is the only ruler for who we have found a strong and clear epigraphic record in which he has declared himself as the Maharaja Dhiraj of Harikala Mandala. That is, he has declared himself as the ultimate king of Harikala kingdom. We have not found any other ruler with epigraphic, clear and precise epigraphic record who has declared himself as the king of Harikala. Only so far, Kanshideva is the only ruler who has for whom we have found a clear record and clear evidence that he was the ruler of Harikala. So this is basically the importance of Kanshideva in terms of Harikala coinage, and you can say this. I can say this. He can be considered the father of the Harikala coinage. Just on a funny tone. Now, next slide. This is the second series of Harikala coinage. This is the most common coinage that can be found, the Harikala second series. Noticeably, you can find that there is no garland on verse around the bull's neck. This second series is very much available and lighter in weight comparing first series. Lot of dye varieties exist for this Harikala coinage because we have found many instances, many examples, specimens of this Harikala coinage of the second series. Generally, all the bulls are facing left. Only some exceptional cases we have found are the bulls are basically facing right. Apart from that, this Harikala second series is very much common. Now this is a very interesting second series from Harikala. You see, this is called the Samotota type Harikala series. Samotota is basically an adjacent kingdom of that particular of the contemporary Harikala, which was comprises like the modern day Kumilla, Agartala, Tripura, Dhaka. It was composed basically Dhaka, Faridpur, Borishal, part of Tripura, Noakhali, and Khulna districts of Bangladesh, modern day Bangladesh, and they are basically very known for their gold coins. This is the only instance where we have found some coins with Harikala device, with Harikala symbols, Harikala motifs, where the name of Samotota is inscribed. Maybe Samotota, Samotota, they have maybe the popularity of Harikala coinage was so widespread that the kingdom of Samotota also are influenced by the popularity of that coinage, and that's why they have tried to make the coins with Harikala device and in their own name. It might be one of the reasons why we have found these very extreme rare coins like Samotota coin in Harikala inscriptions. And this is the Bracteates. Interestingly, these are very high, big size coins with the average diameter of 50 millimeter, but basically they are very thin. Like the coins I presented here, basically only 3 grams with the diameter of 50 millimeter. So, the basic thing is that this is Bracteates. There had been found only one major Bracteates has been found in Tripura region, and they are basically die impression coins because they are so thin that this coin cannot bear the hammer from two sides. So the hammer was made on one side, the impression was felt on the other side. Apart from regular Harikala coinage, we have found several other inscriptions, on these coins like Piraka, then Shivagiri, Joyagiri, something like this. The coin I presented here is basically one is Biraka and another is Harikala. This Biraka was a ancient area from modern Tripura, whose current name is Boxanagar. And the Bracteates basically is found from mainly found from a single hood, which is from Tripura, and it is anticipated that the epicenter of the rulers, epicenter of the power was shifted to more east, like in Tripura, from Kumilla to Tripura. That's why the rulers are not no more in that power of the coins. So the ruler are not on in sovereign authority of these coins, and that's why the power was shifted from Kumilla to Tripura. Most probably these coins were circulated during the 9th century. Now there are I would like to present some interesting Harikala coins from my collection. Like the number one coin you can find, this is basically an error coin. But if it is an error coin, but there are so many errors in one side, like this upper side, you can find the double impression, the right sided, bull. Then the spelling is mistaken. The the lettering, the perspective is totally different. Like the lettering is also different. The wording is retrograde. So many mistakes in one single coin is very, very funny. Like I'm not sure the engraver was still in the job after having this coin done. Secondly, the Harikala coin I can show you the number 2. That is here the bull is right side, but the letter inscription is like the regular inscription. This is interesting in a sense that whenever we found the right side bull, in most of the cases, the entire over side is mirror image. Like the bull is also reverse right side, and the inscription is also happens to be in the mirror image. But here, this is an entirely different die where the bull is right side, but the lettering and other perspective of the coin is completely intact. And secondly, the third is a Bracteate. This is a Bracteate. This is very interesting and one of my favorite Bracteates because uh, all the basic Bracteates are basically die motion, but still this is quite uniqueness because this Bracteate is not big in size. This is basically usual size of the Harikala coins, and maybe the only instance has been found so far with this size. This was basically from my part, and interesting thing is that the Harikala coins was very important, and because this coin is closely related with the economic development of that contemporary Bengal. So, in order to understand this coin, if you can understand this coin, then the economic activities of that uh, contemporary Bengal can be easily understood. And also, the Harikala Mandala or Harikala Kingdom was an important business hub for that particular region. Now, and that's why, uh, and the reason it can be considered as a business hub is because we have found so many of Harikala coins from an widespread area of Bengal, like Bangla, Kumilla, Tripura, Myanmar, Chittagong. So it can be easily said that they are vast, they are in majority in use, and these were vastly used by the traders, and this was very heavily populated in this area. So this is basically my part from the presentation. If you have any question, you can ask me, and that's it. Thank you so much. This is my first time I'm here, so if there is any uh, uh, unintentional mistakes, you can tell me. If you have any question, you can ask me, and you can also always email me for any further queries. It's not that I will know the answer, but together, of course, I will try to find out the answer for you. That's it. Thank you so much.
Well, thank you very much indeed. This was amazingly interesting. A series that is not well known. I don't think it is seen very often, but you made quite a fascinating presentation where lots of new aspects, at least for me, came about. The border crossing of the Harikala Kingdom in what is present-day Myanmar and present-day Bangladesh was very interesting to me. There are a couple of comments and questions in the chat. Would you like to read them, or shall I?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, I can see from Joe Clip. Thank you, Joe. I have heard about the name many times, and it's basically an encouragement for me to have such comments from you. Thank you so much. Okay. On I see Peter. Okay. Does it imply he was the only independent ruler, or earlier I was also all subservient to a higher ruler? No, basically, as I told, he was not the only independent ruler. There are other rulers also, but the significance of Kanshideva is that we have found clear and precise document where he has declared himself as the ruler of Harikala. Like, we know there are other rulers also, but we have not found so far any clear evidence where someone is claiming himself as the ruler. So Kanshideva is the only surfaced ruler so far for who has clearly declared himself as a ruler. So this is basically the importance of Harikela. No other ruler has been found so far with clear indication, with clear authority, where he has declared himself as a ruler. Basically, this is where Kanshideva stands aside from other rulers. I think I have made myself clear. Okay. Did Harikela issue any gold coins for no? Okay, at 20 is hard to decide. Not have any, might be. I'm not that much known to the penny issues. Okay, okay. I think that's all. For further question, you will always write me. I'll try to give you the answer. What might be expression used in usage of coinage that was not in practice of minting coins using the method? I have I can see the question from Mr. Sharif. What might be explanation of usually new series of coinage that was not in practice of minting coins using the method in this region with different names of kingdom, etc. That actually I am not sure why this was done, but one explanation might be this coin was basically mainly circulated and used by the traders most of the reasons, because we don't have any clear indication about the rulers. So it has been said that the coins are mostly used by the traders, and they might have inscribed their names or the name of their places just because of their ease of operation. It might be reason why this Bracteates has been inscribed with some different names. Might be, I don't know, because a lot of questions are still unanswered for Harikela region. Of course, the experts are here. I can see Numan Bhai is here. He can answer further also if he knows. I have no clear idea why it has not been done in that way. Thank you. Mainly from a single hood, but there are I have heard that there are some other instances also. There are only some few coins has also been found from other places also, but the majority and mostly the Bracteates was found only from a single hood, that is from Tripura.
This is Numan calling. Am I audible?
Yes, Numan Bhai. Clear.
Yeah.
Please.
So first of all, thanks a lot for the nice presentation. And with regard to the query from Harikela Bhai, to be honest, I don't have any clear answer, because this Bracteates is something the technique is not very familiar with any part of the Eastern region. We have not seen this type of points where they actually imitated this technique. I don't know. But as already Sudipta Paul mentioned, these Harikela coinage are merely sovereign issuance rather than probably a trade issuance. And every region, like in the latter part, these Harikela trade coinage were flourished in various regions, from starting from Myanmar to even Kumilla, Tripura, and Sylhet region. Every region has their own style of tracking these coins. As already you mentioned that these particular Bracteates have been found only from a selected region, and I am aware of only one hoard which actually appeared in 1970, and I think all subsequent coins are coming from that particular hoard, and I have not seen any other coins coming from any other region. So I have no idea why actually they replicated this technique, but they are coming from that particular region only. That is what I only know.
Thank you for that comment. I'm sure we're going to have.
And I had a couple of comments.
Sure, go ahead.
On the Bracteate pieces in the British Museum, there is one specimen with the Srivatsa side showing. So the coins were, there's something suggesting that there were two dies involved. And some people have suggested that the Bracteate method might be that coins are being struck several at a time. They put several thin sheets put between the dies and struck. so the impression goes through the metal and strikes several coins at the same time. But at the other end, there was the reverse die, which was marked up on at least one coin in the British Museum collection. I also wanted to say about the map you showed at the beginning shows the distribution of the coins rather than the extent of the kingdom of Harikela.
This one you're referring to?
So you showed a map at the beginning, which suggested that the kingdom of Harikela reached up into sort of up towards, right up into Bangladesh, above Camilla.
Sylhet.
Yeah. Well, the coins are certainly found through that area, but I think Samatata was a separate kingdom from Harikela.
Yes, of course. Samatata was obviously a separate kingdom from Harikala. But what I have read that in some of the documents, it has been claimed that the Harikala coin, in certain given point of time, it was stretched up to Sylhet as well, which is not, of course, is proven. But I have just mentioned what has been in the history book. That's it.
Yeah, I think one has to be distinguished between what is definitely known from historical texts, so the inscriptions, rather than what's in history books, which is made up.
That can be, of course.
Yeah. Because there is a coin which says Samatata on it, in the same style as the Harikela coins. And
I would like to add one more thing with your comments, like the distinguish between the Harikela kingdom and Samatata.
Yeah.
I have in my book probably mentioned that this Harikela coin, if I think about the provenance of this coin, these Harikela coins are found in bulk in various regions. Even I have seen a particular hoard of coins even appeared very near to Dhaka, maybe around 30 kilometers from Dhaka in a district called Gazipur. So I'm not pretty sure it is on the northern side of Dhaka city. How it came to that far, I have no idea. But this Harikela coin actually is struck in a wide range of region and which exceeds the existing region of Harikela.
Yeah. Yeah, I think the Harikela coinage became very popular throughout the region. Yeah, and I mean the other question I have is what happened between the end of the Harikela coinage and the beginning of Islamic coinage in Bangladesh? There seems to be, if we follow the chronology suggested by B.N. Mukherjee and others, then we have a gap between the Harikela coinage and the Islamic coinage, which is difficult to explain.
Yes, there is a gap, and we don't have any evidence of coinage in the period of Senas and Palak. Obviously, there is a gap of 100 or 200 years.
Well, unless the Harikela coinage is later than we think.
Very unlikely, probably up to that extent of 11th century.
True.
Yeah. Anyway, a very nice talk. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Thanks for all.
If I may comment on Joe's comment, I don't have any specialized knowledge on these coins at all, as you probably found, and I do know a little bit about Bracteates, who are I wouldn't say common, but who that occur up to the First World War, actually, and what you find suggested very often is that the Bracteates were struck indeed in with several copies at the same time, several specimens at the same time, sorry, and these were put on top of each other and then struck with one blow. Now, if there would have been a die on the other side, that should have been very easy to see, because if there is no dye, the dye rotation would have been impossible. But you can get dye rotation if you have two dyes. And in fact, for hammered coins, I would expect that there would be dye rotation. In addition, of course, if there is a second dye, then you would see specimen whose reverse would be much sharper than what you usually see in a Bracteate, where the reverse is quite a bit vaguer than the obverse. One more thing is that why would you want to have Bracteates in the first place? I think they are, from most of the time in European countries, again, a consequence of showmanship. People wanted to have a coin for a small amount of silver, and they didn't want it to be absolutely nothing, so they made it as broad as they could by using a very thin flan. But if they would have used a thicker flan, it would have looked much more like a flattened ball, and that would probably not have been very impressive. I don't know if these comments apply to the Harikela coinage as well, but I'll leave it to the experts to find that out. I see.
Yeah, thank you, Peter.
I see no other demands for the floor.